So this is Magnus Carlsen against
Grischuk and Naidov was played. So, well, I was wrong. We still watch Magnus Carlsen and Grischuk. Yeah, absolutely right. Classical world champion, the leader in this tournament against defending world Blitz champion. And yeah, early f3 was played. f3 before knight c3, then knight c6, knight 3 e5. So it's well, how it's called, trouser or some Bondarevsky, something like that. Yeah, so I used to call it 4 knights d6 Sicilian, which is more or less correct name. I mean, at least it describes the variation. But since white choice was f2, f3, he cannot play the most dangerous against normal setup. Normal move or the bishop g5 move would be the principal one. Queen d2, and now it can actually transpose into something quite Naidorfish, so to speak, after, say, a5. There are lines where white goes castle long, and in Naidov black plays a6, a5 with a tempo loss.
So he would win a tempo, and he goes for
a5 immediately. Bishop b5, bishop e6 played. Bishop e6, and there is a funny plan. I don't know if it occurs on the board, but there is a funny plan for black, like to play knight a7, chasing the bishop away, then knight c8, and knight will go to b6 to go to c4 or to support d6, d5. That basically this is what will happen after a castle, I believe. It's knight to a7, black's next move. Magnus is thinking.
They are roughly equal on time, 2.5 minutes for each.
Yeah, I'm wondering if knight d5 is there. No, Magnus went for castle. Then the theoretical move is knight a7, I assume. And I don't know. Knight a7 played, right. Kicking the bishop away. And then you can play bishop e2 or bishop d3. Bishop e2. Well, the thing is, it's somewhat different. Bishop on d3 stays in the way of white pieces, so black can play d6, d5 somewhat easier. But then with bishop on e2, you don't have queen f2 move, so black can play knight c8, and knight b6 cannot be prevented. Yeah, knight c8. And there are some lines like, for instance, a4, because black not only wants knight b6, but a5, a4 as well. So a4, knight b6, rook f d1, knight c4, white will take, bishop takes, and go queen f2. I think it's sort of a theory. Bishop b5, it's an attempt to go for repetition. Not that he wants a draw, but maybe he reconsiders. Maybe he wants his bishop on d3 instead of a2.
Maybe.
Instead of e2.
No,
bishop e2. No.
E2.
He's kind of fine with a draw, it seems. Knight c8. Or he will still go for this line I've mentioned, a4 and rook f d1.
I've never seen Magnus Carlsen making a quick draw, especially
with the white pieces,
with the white
right?
pieces.
I mean, he did this in World Championship, but it was
his strategy.
Kind of a special occasion, right? But here, in the middle of a tournament where it's not clear if it's good or bad to make a draw, and okay, nobody makes a draw that quickly in the Blitz game,
But
he goes for it. Bishop
and Grischuk
b5.
considers whether he should accept it.
Well, it's a psychological game as well, because Grischuk is 2 points down. Behind, yes. 2 points behind Magnus Carlsen. So Magnus,
and twice the time. Look at the clock.
Twice the time up.
1 minute for Magnus and 2 minutes for Alexander.
No, the problem is that you don't have so many moves in this position. Yeah, and it's just a draw